Good morning, and welcome to this edition of Monday Musings. A couple of years ago now, when we launched the theme Reaching a World-Class Standard, Mr. Tim Garner from Public Relations asked the question very astutely, how are you going to know if you achieve this goal? That's a great question and worthy to be pondered. My initial response was then, and continues to be, we can look at EdTPA scores. We have data, hard data, that indicates that our students are surpassing the state averages and surpassing national averages for first-time pass rates in EdTPA. That is a significant accomplishment and perhaps gives indication or some affirmation that we are reaching toward a world-class standard. But as I dig further into this idea of how will you know if you're achieving this goal, I think of a solitary elementary school teacher who goes into a third or fourth grade classroom and soon after employment identifies that one of those students has a serious reading deficiency. And so that teacher, with intentionality, gives great thought to how he or she may differentiate instruction in order to meet the need of this student who is below average, and then instructs according to that differentiated, specialized plan. Continues throughout the school year to assess progress and assess their own teaching, modifies the teaching as necessary, the instructional plan, and continues to assess, and in the span of 8 months is able to support that child's learning to the degree that at the end of that school year, that third or fourth grade student is reading above the national averages for children of that age. Now that is, at the bottom line, what we mean by reaching a world-class standard. We achieve that goal when our teachers are able to go anywhere in the world, any placement in the world, in the most easy or difficult circumstances, and impact student learning positively. That is a significant goal, and one that I think is within our reach. And I hope that we will challenge our pre-service teachers to aspire to that kind of impact going forward. Another thing that's terrifically important that assists us in reaching a world-class standard is seeking national accreditation. As you know, because of your hard work and the leadership of the Associate Dean, we submitted our self-study just recently for our national accreditation with the Council for Accreditation of Educational Programs, for CAEP. And we expect a good review, and we expect a good ending and an accreditation affirmation in the fall of this year. However, we've been working on that, the INTASC standards, and implementing those in our programs and individual courses and even individual lessons for 5 or 6 years now. And so this is a continual process. For the School of Education totally, and all of our education programs, the national accreditation process leads us to a process of continual evaluation and continuous improvement. Now we're turning our attention to the infamous CHIP process. CIEP, Continuous Improvement of Educational Programs, the CHIP process. When we submitted our program-by-program documents last year for CHIP evaluation with the State Department of Education, we received them back, and we had a few programs that were approved with conditions. Now we need to go to work on those conditions. We also had a number of programs that were not approved we did not gain approval. We have another opportunity to submit our plans to meet those standards, and we will submit those again later on this year. I want you to put that in the perspective of continuous improvement. These are not check boxes that once we check it off like CAPE or CHIP and get that done and over with, that we are finished. No, this is an ongoing process of continuous improvement. Continuous improvement for the whole school of education, and continuous improvement program by program by program. And so each of you who in your own program collaborate with your colleagues to decide how can we better meet the needs of students and prepare them to be first day ready, and first day ready at a world-class standard to be employed in our systems and throughout the world, is the question that we're asking, and it will be a continuous process. So in conclusion, let me just say, if we are satisfied with the best we have been, we will never be the best we can become. And so there is a sort of sanctified dissatisfaction that always ought to be an undercurrent in our own programs and what we're doing in education. We are not satisfied with our results as yet, and we are still reaching toward a world-class standard. And we do that together. Thank you for all that you're doing to continuously improve your courses, your programs, and indeed the School of Education, to the end that our students might be more well prepared. I hope you have a great week.